today is kind of a little rant. I don't know um, what's going to be with this video or anything, but all right, let's get on with this. For a long time, I've been doing was freelancing. All right, so I made okay money. It was decent, whatever. It's not the greatest, you know. So since I was able to get here and move in here, it's not that bad. It's actually quite nice. I've had problems. I might do a video about the kind of problems about what I've had in the very beginning, but how much of a pain in the ass it was for me to try to get the office to get me a key for my mailbox and change the lock so I have an actual key for it, whatever, so I can get my mail. By the way, my mail, like, before I moved in December of 2023, and that mailbox was jam-packed with mail that was mine and the previous tenants and whatever, and the oldest piece of mail goes back to October. So that unit was empty since October. And they still couldn't figure out to fix the flooring and glue it right. I mean, like, now it kind of settled and dried and whatever, but over time, for a few months, it starts seeping out the glue because I've been walking around. And I still have a hard time cleaning it because it's all linoleum on concrete, basically. But yeah, there was like these splotches and whatever. Especially in the areas where it didn't settle right or some shit. Like in those splotches is actually the glue risen up between the so-called boards. It looks like boards, but it is. It's just flat panels of strips of linoleum with a bad paint job that looks like wood. If you have bad stuff, bad eyesight, it just kind of blurs in or whatever. But if you have okay eyesight, as long as you're not really staring too deeply at it, it does kind of resemble like wood, with a quick glance or anything, But some people think, oh, it's wood. Like, no, it's not. Yeah, it's stiff like wood. No, it's linoleum and it's concrete underneath. That's why it hurts like hell. Feel it smooth. Like, what? There's still ridges. Yeah, because that's the linoleum. How it's pushed it. It has to be wood. No, it isn't. It's linoleum. Because if you notice, the grooves are even all the way through, going straight. It doesn't follow the path or anything. It doesn't actually feel like wood. It's just with that ridges into it. It's like, oh, it feels like wood, to the untrained that never dealt with this kind of shit before. So yeah. Then I've been trying pretty hard to continue doing stuff, to freelancing and stuff to make more money and whatever. Trying to do even better and better each time. Working on that, trying to like freelancing online and stuff. For a while, I just was like simple devices on my iPad and saving up some extra money that I can, and then I was able to get myself a laptop that works pretty well, for what I want to use it. And I didn't have internet because I didn't feel comfortable of having internet yet. Not because I don't need it. Actually, I do. The thing is not because of the entrapments of the whole thing where I wouldn't have a reason to go outside or do anything really, which is kind of true because I'm the type of person that don't like to associate with people, especially people that I don't know. I don't want to really go out. I'm not like, I've never been that way. I've done things with my friends when I was a kid, or, places I used to live, just wander around and do a whole mess of things. Nowadays, I just work too hard for what I have and try to maintain. Um, the other thing is that um, the only internet service I had access to was the library, and it's a pain in the ass to try to do work online and stuff and try to get clientele that, of getting commission work, doing artwork and stuff. I had some commissions that did pan out, but it was like some really simple stuff. Some of it was not even actual commissions, just people asking me, but I wasn't sure if they were asking me what I can do, even though I have it listed on Fiverr. And what they end up telling me of what they need to do was not really adequatable of the prices, something really super simple. And I got access to their thing and stuff. I really didn't want it, and they did was send me the like copies of their shit, whatever. I just said, yeah. And one guy I don't know if it's a guy or girl, I think it's a guy. I was first doing was fixing his whole site, of the programming of it, to the point where I did this to a point where it's not even his original code anymore. And then I had to redo the whole thing. So I did was do it over again, and this time using the code that he did have and just kind of fixing it and adding little things. But it wasn't like anything very difficult for me, but it seemed very difficult at the time because I was like very sick, and he wanted certain things changed or whatever. But I figured, okay, I shouldn't make it too difficult like I was doing beforehand, because I did not want him to like be reliant on me to keep on fixing it. It's like, dude, I don't want to keep on fixing your thing. What I'll do is fix it and then have it set up so with instructions how to replace certain things, if need be and whatnot. And I had some ideas and I did share them with him. And he said, no, I just want blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the main reasons why I scrapped my personal code and stuff of revamping his whole site altogether. And I was doing this on my iPad. I didn't have a laptop yet. And I just did was kind of fix some of this shit and some other things I gave him, like his original plus also a fixed up version of his original and whatnot, and saying you can change the code if you want and whatever. Gave him some basic stuff that, updated stuff, like images, because mostly what he really wanted was just new images and whatnot. And, I gave him a whole mess, and I said, I'll give you more, It's like, oh, this is okay. And he wanted to pay me. And he kept on bugging me, like, how much is this? I said, no, it's free. I'm sorry. And I had to tell him is that I'm very sick at this moment, like trying to explain to him I'm literally ill, it's hard for me to continue working on anything. And I also got was another order, also when I was going through an illness, in and out of sicknesses and whatnot. It's like, I don't know if it was depression and illness that mixed to this whole degree and stuff, and getting sick and tired of like people trying to commission me, and every single time they're fake accounts, or they're just trying to do is rip me off. One seemed too good to be true, but the price tag and what they want me to do didn't match up and wanted at a very short time. It's like, said, just for a whole month to work, but only gave me really less than a week to do it because they specified, a start date and an end date, which happened to be that particular month, but the month was already almost over, and was gonna pay me like $5,000, but to literally remake Facebook. Like, literally, yeah, that's what they want me to do. Like, are you out of your goddamn mind? I didn't even respond to that. It's like, you want me to recreate Facebook, an exact copy of Facebook, for $5,000, and you say the job is a whole month, give me a month, but it's that particular month it was in, and that month was already over, and, the message, of the date that it came was the date that I did saw it, and it was less than a week? Like, no. So people say, why didn't you do it? Like, no. Most of the time it's scams, and they want you to do is figure out how to make an exact copy so they can just do is rip off people claiming to be the company that they hired you to copy, literally make their site and stuff. Like, God. And I've already made a thing that would be like Facebook and, but this was way before Facebook and MySpace that, came about. Back in the 90s, I actually came up with something as that. And I even explained to my brother, it's like one of the most dangerous things to do. Because, yeah, if I put it out there and have this, like a message board system where you can make accounts and all this other shit. The exact same thing as MySpace and stuff. Oh, by the way, back in the 90s, before there was MySpace, the platform that is and is pretty much dead, except has people from other countries, mainly DJs and stuff like that. Most of it's like from Asia. Still use it. Anyways, the MySpace before them, I don't know exactly what their address was, if it was a .com or a .co or something like that. That particular earlier MySpace was just a hard drive space, virtual hard drive. Well, it was a physical hard drive, and you can rent space. They give you X amount of, data space. And since I was a customer of theirs over time, and they just kept on giving me more and more data space. And it was actually pretty cool to where you can have it, you're given keys. One is a key that is private for you, so whatever you upload on there, only you can have access of downloading it, and if it's videos, you can watch it on there and stuff, or if it's a website that you created that's literally behind a block, or and same thing with games or whatever. You have like whatever you put in there in your hard drive, and you can lock it basically. So, and it was set up to where, okay, here's a section that would be like a folder that's specifying like all the things that you uploaded is private, only you have access to it. You're the only one that can actually access, look at it, go through it online, and download and correct and upload shit through that file. Then you got is another key that was for another folder, and in that folder you can put stuff that is things that you want to share, except it has a key attached to it. So you have to give people the key to be able for them to access, to look at it online, and you can set the access for their particular key if they have the right to do is download it. But most of it is like, oh, you can only view it, but you can't download from it, whatever it is, And then you had was another box, folder as it were, but same amount of space altogether. Um, that other folder, whatever you put in that one, is that it's open to anyone. So, except only you can put stuff in it. Nobody can put things in it, but they can do is view it, without a key or anything, and also download whatever it is. Like, kind of like GitHub before GitHub was actually in existence. So, yeah, kind of like that. So, yeah, I just put on, media, whatever that I needed, for work related stuff that I was doing in college at the time. So I just used that as a storage space to protect my stuff, and everything was in that folder. That was all private. That only I had access to it. Nobody could see it. Nobody, could view it or download it or anything. Just me. So, yeah, I've done that. And that was the whole thing. Whatever. And it was actually a pretty reasonable price. Like, you get it, like, you can sign up for free, get X amount of space, and over time as they grew, they kept on giving me more and more space. And you could also pay for extra space. You also pay, there's like a monthly fee and yearly fees for different levels to get like really more space and greater bandwidth and stuff. And they also had was a donation button to help donate to keep the system still free for people without resorting to advertisement or anything like that, and to keep their servers going. So I did help out what I could with that, even though I was like kind of working student back then. Yeah, but it did work for me. Yeah. I don't know if it still exists because I don't remember what its ending was, because I know its name was MySpace. I have no idea what it was. They could have been bought out by Tom, that decided, you know what, I'm now going to change it to that. Maybe. But even after MySpace existed, Tom's MySpace, that guy, Tom, everybody's friend. Well, with him, his existed while the one that I was using in the 90s was still in existence. I still had access to it, like in the early 2000s, So I just kind of lost my connections to it. Excuse me. So, yeah. Now for me, the rest of the thing is like for several months I've been home. I still do freelancing and stuff, and still doing more shit, trying to get better commissions, online and stuff like that. And I got internet and stuff, had this for several months. So, like, what I kind of dread or whatever is like, I now don't have a reason. I knew that was going to happen, but I was able to was save up enough money to where I felt comfortable enough as a buffer for me to go get internet, where it's not going to hurt me, like with the cost of living and stuff, for food and laundry, detergent, and shit like that, of paying for to wash my clothes. Like literally, I wash my own clothes, but I use the washing machines here because I rather do that. Washers and dryers and shit. It's like, yeah, just easier. I don't want to walk like over half an hour to the nearest laundromat. When anytime I've been over by past it, I have to go past that laundromat just to get to the nearest grocery store. Has the least amount of problems to get to it, Like fun. And it's always jam packed, that laundromat, anyways. And then there's a cleaner right next door, but I don't need a dry cleaner. I don't need my stuff dry cleaned. It's too expensive for me at the moment. So, yeah. So, I've been going up and down on things. I just felt like I was now in this new rut to where I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't feel like I normally do, like I'm highly depressed or not. A lot of times I feel super exhausted, all the time. I just feel so tired, and I've had my windows open and stuff, and have, air conditioners and whatever to rotate air through here, and also to keep it cool when, just cool enough to where it's comfortable for me, so I'm not like, where it feels humid and shit like that. I can do well with the heat, except I just don't want to deal with that stale air. It could be cold or hot. If it's stale, it just doesn't feel good. Even if the temperature's alright, it's comfortable, it's just being stale and feel dead, I need to do is get more plants. I was given, it's like, it's been several months, that I had was a sweet potato, hard as a rock, didn't want to eat it or cook it up or anything, And I noticed it started growing, it was just one day I just noticed, so I had water to it, and it was doing well, and I gave it some light and whatever, it just ended up not doing well. It was given light, like, it's like, it was doing okay, and then like, no. It's like, no. But, no. Yeah, here's the potato plant, like, this was like the first vine of it, and it basically was dying. I don't know. I gave it nutrients and whatever. And then all of a sudden, within a couple of days, this is what it did. Yeah, this is like a couple of days growth. That this part just suddenly like shot out at one end. Like, this section here just, whoop, it was just like another little branch like this. And it just, this one like, fuck it. So I added water so this cloth can absorb it, and its root system actually grown into the cloth itself, literally attached to it, like on both sides and whatever. And it's still hard as a rock. It never grew any tubers or whatever. I don't have a container to normally throw it in with some like dirt or whatever to bury it so it starts growing more tubers. I wanted to see if this one would actually flower or what it would do. And I can't really plant it outside, Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Like, literally go outside in the middle of the night, dig a hole, throw it in, and start planting it along with the bushes just to fuck. Yeah, let's see what would happen. Oh. Maybe the gardeners might chop it. Who knows? No. I don't know. Yeah. Or get a container later on another day. I tried making videos and putting them on YouTube, but some of them end up being too long-winded or whatever. And most of it, I made these videos in the middle of the night where I just couldn't sleep. So I'm like exhausted, rambling and whatnot. It's just going through different things. I'm not trying to make money through YouTube because I know that I don't have the proper equipment to make the videos I really want to do. I don't have the money for that. Especially I don't have the software that I'm used to or anything to, video editing software and stuff. I have some basic shit that exists, but nothing I'm really proud of, you know? Where most of the time, I'm just making shit, just throwing it out there, not really thinking anybody would really view it. But if they do, yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, so for me, for like about 4 months or so, 3 or 4 months, I don't know. It just felt like I've been stuck in this rut. It's like right after I got internet, I was doing well. Like I got internet like 6 months ago, 5 or 6 months ago, and then something like that. I was doing well with it, and then all of a sudden, I'm in this rut now. It's like I don't know what day it is or anything. I've stopped working on my art, and not because of AI or anything. You know, AI artists or no. It's just I don't know what to create. Like I have, some would say you lost your mojo, man, or you lost your muse, or I have ideas to do, but I just don't have the motivation to do it really on certain things, like to draw and whatever. And plus, how things are going like right now, I should be like severely depressed and whatever. Maybe I am and not realizing it because it's now manifesting in a completely different way than I usually experience my depression or whatever. Yeah, I chopped my hair because I finally got some new scissors that work or whatever. And cut my hair. I do it every so often. Not because I like Edward Teach, going through madness, grow out my facial hair and whatever, and then after a bit of time of piracy, then go back on the mainland and shave and cut my hair. No, that's what Edward Teach did. I don't do that at all. Me, I hate facial hair. I hate shaving. And I like my hair to be a certain length, and if it's too long, I just start cutting it, and some days I just, would chop it really short like this. I don't go like bald or anything, like shaving or anything. I don't want to do that. I usually want to style and stuff a certain way. And usually, if I'm planning for a convention to go to, I know how fast my hair grows, and I've already decided like what character I'm going as. I grow up my hair for several months. Depending on the length I want. For what it is. Depending on so I can style it to be in that character. Have hairspray and whatever, and cut my hair to the appropriate length for at the last minute and stuff. I style it and stuff, so I end up looking like that character, with the cosplay and stuff. Sometimes I don't even cosplay at all, or there's like days I will go cosplay one day and then the next I don't, or something like that. Go to the conventions. I haven't gone to the conventions in a long time now. Other things. I don't know. But yeah, it just, the thing is that right now things seem to be more precarious. I don't really want to go into complete details with this. It might be too much for people to want to view, and plus it's just really annoying trying to get everything straight about what has then and all that and what's going on now to deal with that. I am dealing with it, but I don't want to like bring it up really. It's just annoying more so. So I'm like stressing out in different ways. I am stressing out kind of what I normally do, but other things, I know it has to be done. Things that are happening to me is from being stressed out, and it doesn't help that I'm not eating correctly, or because times that I just don't eat, like like days and weeks and whatnot. It's like, it's not like I'm trying to fast. It's just there are times that I would barely eat or snack on things, or have one tiny meal and that would be it for the whole day. Like one, frozen meal, because I feel so out of it to actually cook, and I enjoy cooking actually, to where I don't know what I want, and I just end up getting frozen meals that I would throw in the oven or something, something quick to make, heat up and eat. It actually tastes pretty good, by the way, you know. But they're not really filling, I got them originally like for like snacks, and then all of a sudden it's like I only eat that one thing the whole day, and I'm just going through a lot of stupid ass shit, and some of it's manifesting in different ways than normal, whatever. So depression, stress, anxiety, uh, you know, living situation is capricious, contentious, well, whatever, you know, arbitrary, I guess, whatever. So a lot of things are just arbitrary. Well, anyways, well, so I don't know what's going to happen for the time being, because by the way, I still have plenty of money and stuff. I'm fine, but there are things that are happening that just it's just fucked up. Let's put it that way. By the way, none of it has to do with alcohol and drugs. Thank God, it has nothing to do with that shit. I'm glad I'm not being robbed either. But yeah. But my living situation at the moment, like I said, is contentious. It's unknown about what's happening, of things going on. So when I end up getting this all fixed out and other issues, because there are certain organizations and people that have been in contact with more or less, and trying to do is get them to contact me. It's like, oh yeah, we'll contact you about blah blah blah, when it's finalized or whatever, it's like, yeah, of what's happening and stuff. So I don't know what's going on. So it has to do with a lot of things. Most of it's an economic issue if you really think about it, which is annoying. I hate the fact on that. It always comes down to money if you really think about it. In some ways, Yeah, it's annoying, but yeah, finances. When you barely get by, you worry more and more about the finances. It's like once you get fully stable to where you don't and have obtained or making enough money that you can stay going and stuff, you have extra in case of emergencies, nothing's going to hurt you or whatever. You know, financially speaking, like you can weather whatever storm that comes way. Like once you have met all of your basic necessities and stuff, you become complacent, but you just like become comfortable enough to where, yeah, I'm fine, you know, you're doing all right and whatnot. You don't really need to do is trying to obtain more, unless if you have more of addictive personality or something, you know, like you're trying to fill that vacancy inside of you with stuff, or trying to get more money to get more shit. You know, it's like when you covet more shit, you know, like are obsessed, or you know, usually it's because you're trying to fill some void, some lacking that you have, you know, you're compensating for something or something like that, or you just have like an addictive you know, say personalities, but it's really an addictive nature, you know, such as like um you know, whatever it is, like pornography or games or TV shows or anything that you're like really obsessed about, that you just can't get enough of it. Or you try to do so many things and whatever, and you just spin your wheels trying to obtain more and more of whatever it is, to whatever thing that you're trying to accomplish, to, you know, like trying to, let's say you start a project to only do is the cabinets of your kitchen. You've done that, and while doing that, you realize you can do better. You can change it, and then soon enough, you ripped out your whole entire kitchen, and you actually went backwards to where you can't use your kitchen anymore because you ripped everything out, and ripped the walls apart and stuff, because you have to redo it. So you decide to redo everything, not just fixing, like originally it was like to change the cabinets, you know, maybe fixing the doors or changing the panels on it, or it was not good, you know, and you took it down to make a proper one, and then it expands outwards to this now extravagant thing. So every time you added or did something, you end up tearing something else apart or whatever to, you know, compensate for the rest of it until the whole thing is completely ripped apart, where you have to start all over. By the way, my kitchen is really tiny, and it's fine. It's like, yay, whatever. I'm not doing shit like that because I'm renting the place, so yeah, I don't need to do that. No, so for me, yeah, like I said, it's more of a financial thing that all comes down to money, 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 money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's what it is. And that's kind of the reason why I do a lot of videos, and sometimes I upload, but other times I don't. Majority I don't upload them because they're like really, really bad. I end up making videos of me rambling about stupid shit that happened to me, or about my family, you know, of things like this. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. Just I think I do these videos to deal with my stress and shit, I guess. Tear out some crap that's going on in my head, trying to exhaust myself so I can actually sleep, and you know, I still get work done, you know, but certain things like I had was an idea of projects that I wanted to do and what I want to do, such as doing paintings again, and I wanted to do is sell them online, you know, like they would just be, you know, not commission work, but just these pieces that are are going to be original and want to do, they're not going to be really huge, but good size, and affordable. But this kind of all happened of certain things like for about, like a month, almost 2 months, but yeah. Well, starting last month, really. So, yeah, it's been over a month. To really think about it, of like this new problem, anyways. So, I was planning it like about 2 months ago and setting up things, and then, less than 2 months ago, but yeah, just before, you know, the the whole situation about this place being contentious or whatever, of these new issues right now since last month. But why I haven't done the paintings and stuff was because of that, because what's going on right now, to where I decided to hold back on spending of anything or ordering anything, even though I need to order supplies and whatever. I need to go to, an art supply warehouse or order from them online and have them ship it to me, because it takes a long time to get to ASW. I don't have a car. I take the bus and stuff, and costs some money, but it's actually cheaper than actually paying for gas or even for the whole thing with an Uber. But I would only get an Uber if I was coming back from there, especially if it's like something really big that I can't really take on the bus, and I just bought it there. But it's not like, oh, you could order it there and then you can have it delivered to your home and whatnot. But if I was going to get something really big from them, I'd probably just do it order online so it'd be delivered to my place. So, So right now, there are certain things that I know I need and need to get, such as like materials I need to buy. Except this situation, which kind of threw a wrench through my whole entire process of what I was like setting up to do and whatnot. I was getting reference materials about, okay, like, what am I going to draw, for my examples to, for basically figuring out my references for these paintings that I'm going to be doing of, and selling them online and stuff. And they'll be just one of a kind pieces, just like, here's a piece, and people just buy that particular piece, first go, first serve, So this kind of went wrong, it's like, and then I was also thinking of my older projects that when I thought I was like in a safe position, I bought the material, and then things happened to me like really quickly and whatnot, and lost everything and whatnot. It's like shit happened real quick, when I thought things were going to be all right, and that was like the project of making actually there would be prototypes for cosplays, or you can say just regular clothes, but they were like more niche things, because I've had designs for clothes for a long, long, long time that I wanted to do. I just never had the chance to actually go make them. Like even just with the prototypes, where I wanted to do is like, okay, here's a prototype, put on like get somebody that would model it, and I would make it for their size, but have it set up like through Etsy or something that the whole thing of people can do is tell me their sizes so I can have it done. And then I was thinking maybe having it in certain sizes, and then with instructions on to editing it to fit themselves perfectly. You know, so I was doing that kind of thing. You know, with research for some time and whatever. Yeah, I know how to make clothes and other things. Yeah, I know how to do a lot of shit. I know how to use surgeries. Uh, you know, I can do a lot of stuff, but technically, I can't practice medicine because I'm not an actual doctor. I just took courses and things like this, and I've studied on that. You know, did all that thing. I just never got my uh, well, actually, I never got any of that stuff that you need, whatever, you know, doctorates and stuff like that. I didn't go for my residency. Actually, I could have, but it never really interested me to go all the way to be a doctor. It's like certain classes I took and whatnot that I could still have went that way of the path to being somebody like House or whatever, you know, not being an asshole, but, you know, uh, being a resident doctor or, you know, to be doing research or whatever. Or I was even doing the science courses that could easily go into doing working in a research lab or, but thinking like, if I was going in that field, like into the sciences of, you know, laboratory and stuff like, you know, working in laboratories, would I be a research scientist, you know, work, you know, get my teaching degree and stuff, and work at a university and get grants to basically do whatever I was testing or researching there at the university, getting grants for it, and also being a teacher is part of the case to do so. You know, it's like things I was thinking about like in my 20s and stuff. It's like I could have, but didn't, because my whole thing was really to do is um, try to get myself situated and you know, living wise, getting a good enough job, you know, that paid more than enough that I needed so I could save up. And I had things already planned where I was going to go, what things I was doing, but you know, things happened, you know, natural disasters and other shit happened and other crap that happened in my life that just threw a wrench in all my plans and stuff to where nothing worked out for me, you know, correctly for what I was going for. Um, I took mainly some of these medical courses is because was a few teachers told me to take certain, you know, classes that you don't have to go all the way to go get your residency, but these would actually help with your art, you know, because of you're dissecting or whatever, you know, the human body and stuff and corpses and stuff like that, you know, doing surgeries and stuff, or being witnessing to like, you know, they're a doctor. Oh, you know, usually it's resident doctors at a hospital that you're observing them of doing actual surgeries, or they're doing is like cutting up a corpse and showing you like what's wrong with this person, you know, or doing these mocked surgeries through dummies. That's kind of what you end up doing with certain courses and stuff, which usually some people are like all for going into the medical field, but they usually fail out on their own because things like that, seeing somebody cut open, they see blood, or they see corpses, you know, and sometimes it's also the smell and stuff, or doing it with the dummies and stuff. They get freaked out, especially when the dummies got better and better in quality to where it just plays mind games with people and they freak out and they puke and whatever, and they just can't handle, you know, to go into, you know, being a surgeon or whatever. Or sometimes a lot of things that they're forced into being, going on the medical fields because their parents, and they just kind of failed out of it, is because things within the medical field are for them is like severely disgusting, where they can't handle it. Like looking at like some of the most horrendous things, like, oh god, they puked, like seeing, people with certain ailments or like diseases or whatever, or massive growths on them that just like freaks people out to a point where they just can't handle that, and they're just usually told is you never know what your patient that comes to you, what they're going to have. You don't know what they're going to look like. There's all different types of things in patients. It's like a shock and awe with some of these people. It's like, oh god. Yeah. So I just took courses that were more interest to me, and also a few teachers specified of certain particular courses that are within the medical fields that I should take that would actually broaden my knowledge of this. And there was also a teacher that told me to take a lot of different subjects because he knows that I was into writing and making stories, like for comic books and novels and stuff that I was doing on my own, like small projects. And you see my stuff, and also, making short films and whatever, and scripts and whatnot, of my own stuff. He wanted me to experience more and to go into taking courses and learning on my own of certain things, to expand outwards, to learn more. If I didn't take courses, then get books and watch things on television or get videos of these particular subjects to learn more. So, it broadened my horizon and my experiences and knowledge base, so I can have as a wealth of information at my disposal, that from my own experiences and from what I've done, whatever, and witness and shit like this, that I can use all of this new information that I've obtained and stuff to work on my own artwork. And he also knew that I painted and draw and stuff. He was actually kind of proud and interested in. He was more interested in what else would I come up with. He always wanted to see like what new thing I created, or what new exciting little weird thing, because he was always interested in students in their academic pursuits and whatnot. And with me, he was like, saw some of my portfolios and some of the shit, because I had classes that from other art classes, and that was before and after his class, so I had to take certain projects with me, carry them with me and into the class and whatever. So we always wanted to see like what new weird shit I'm doing, like painting or whatever it is that I'm working on, like for whatever projects of these things are. And he was like really interested. It's like, what else can I come up with? And I've showed him some examples of my short stories and whatever and other things, and he just gave me some ideas about how to work it out and whatever, because he knows these things are just like a lot of my written stuff is more of notes and also drafts and stuff. And he said, this is a really good draft. You have it more complete than most people would have is their drafts, their first draft. This looks like it's been like 15 drafts ahead. And I'm like, no, this is how I normally do, is like a basic notation. Like, what? Yeah, these are more of notes, but I've always been told to be more, perfected on things and whatever. It's just kind of like what my mom taught me, on things, like kind of drilled it into me, but not like a bearing parent or anything, whatever. So just how it is. I'm a perfectionist. I had one teacher that realized that's what I was. And she says, I know what you are. You're a perfectionist. That's what is your biggest problem than anything else in your life. You're a perfectionist. And that's also your greatest asset. As long as you don't have the perfectionism overtakes you to where you can't complete something. That's what happens with a lot of people. See, people that are perfectionists, they will only feel comfortable with something when it is perfect. It's, finite, done. And she says that sometimes it's okay that it's not absolutely perfect as long as you get it done to the level that it should be, that it's adequate, not hand in something that's half-assed and broken and fucked up to where, don't go half-ass on shit. Just do what you can and as best as you can, and just always complete each project. And once you complete it, don't try to tweak it and make it better. Now, work on the next project, and then the next project, then the next. After you complete each project, just go for another. You don't have to worry about those other ones. Put them aside, say they're done, Yeah, maybe sometime later when you can, you might actually use that for reference to rework it or make a better variant of mixing and matching of stuff. Because the thing is, you're working on completion of these things. You already are a perfectionist and you're very good at making it complete, but you now have to do is walk away from it and say it's complete and it's done, and move it off the side and work on the next project. Just like literally, yeah, it may have certain little problems that you see it, nobody else really notices it or hasn't seen it whatsoever because they're not invested like you are. So your thing is to go for the next and the next, one after the other. And that applies to anything. You can say with programming, like making games. For some people, they'll make a game that's good enough that works, but they keep on adding more and more shit till it becomes this nightmare to where it's never finished, because to them it's never truly finished and never shows it to anybody. Never let anyone play it, to the point where it's like the never-ending game and will never be finished. Because that's kind of what happens with people when they create things, when they're too heavily invested in it to a point where they're obsessed, or, oh, it's not perfect, it's not ready yet. Yes, it is. Just, let it be shown or whatever, or be read or whatever it is, Just get on with it. Like, put it out and get a new project, do the next one. But that's the problem with some people, is that, and others is that they can never do it. It's like they want to do something and then they are roadblocked and they don't actually go into the actual making and completing of it, because it's like the idea is great, but the execution becomes too hard to execute of the creation of whatever it is. There's like so many roadblocks, so they're stuck in the beginning developmental idea stage. They just get stuck in that section without doing anything. Then there's some people that get stuck in the development stage of actually making the thing, whatever it is, and they end up changing it over and over, adding more stuff until it's like it could have been done a long time ago. Like I could have done was with a lot of my paintings, like say it was done way long ago, but I already had it in my mind about exactly how it was done, like in my head, and I can see it fully done, but for some reason I know the layers that it needs, to get. And every time I've done these very complex paintings that take many layers and stuff of paint and whatever, and multitude of designs and shit, like I had teachers that seen these things like in their classes I was working in, and you know, every time they saw it, they thought, "Is it done?" They thought, "Yeah, like they want to take it and hang it up. It's done." Like, no, it's not done yet. Like, what? Like, no. And the next day they see it. It's like in the beginning of the it's done. Like, no, not yet. At the end of the day, multiple times in the class, like, no, no, no. And every time they see it, it's like literally a different painting because it changed. It's not like I wiped everything out. I just added more complexity to it because that's how I see what the final thing looks like. And I did was draw some designs or whatever, like of each section of how it's going to be layered and whatnot, and specifying, this just how to draw like the finite thing, and showing it looks something like this is a simple sketch or whatever, like, and showing like my notes for things like that from whatever it is that I'm painting. And it's like each one of these are like you can literally have these as separate paintings. Like, yeah, but all these elements are going to combine, and then just wait until I tell you when it's done. When it actually got done, how long the project was supposed to be. So I already had in mind, and I worked nonstop on these paintings, whatever, to be the way it's supposed to within the time frame of the project. So when it was meant to be delivered, and of its final date, delivery moment, I handed it in at the end of the class when you're supposed to. It's like, yes, it is done now. And the teachers, a lot of my teachers were really shocked. And one of my teachers, she adored my stuff, like my drawings and paintings and stuff. And I've had some drawing classes with her and painting courses with her. And when she's seen my paintings, like in her courses, or like when it was like, projects that are mainly meant for you're supposed to do in class like for 3 days, and after the third class day, at the end of that day is when it's delivered, or or sometimes it's weeks, whatever you're supposed to turn it in, what date. So yeah, and some people leave their paintings in class to continue doing them because they don't want to take it. I dry my stuff and whatever and protect it so I can get from one place to another and stuff. And she was always amazed about like what paints I use. She thought I was using oils. And I told her it's acrylic, and I had to show her that was acrylic, and she like was freaked out because she'd never seen acrylic the way it was. So I used was an Italian paint that's called Brera Miyamara. And it's actually really good, and it's hard to find in the States now. It's a really good acrylic paint, thick, vibrant colors and stuff. The thickness of the paint, you can paint directly out of the tube. It has the look and feel of oils, of using it. You could also water it down to the point where it has the look and feel as a watercolor, but it has the best capability of being an acrylic, of drying, and you use other material to keep it wet longer, from Liquitex and stuff, but it's a way better quality. Liquitex, it's acrylic because when you see it wet, it looks like plastic. When it dries, it looks like plastic because it is. It's just plastic. With Brera Miyamara, when it dries, it still looks like it's wet, that it's oil, but it's hard as a rock. And, people are swearing it's wet. Like, oh, it's not, It's acrylic, you can touch it, it's hard, and it's like, it's like wondering, like still wondering when they feel it, like like if it's very smooth, and then you realize it's plastic, but it kind of fucks with your head because of the quality of the paint. It still makes you think it's wet oil. That's what it looks like, even with the brush strokes into it. It has the bristle marks of it, from the brushes in the scoop of the paint. Even though it's dried hard as a rock, and you look at it, it still looks more like oil, not plasticky like acrylic. And when you touch it, it's like, wait, it's dried, but it still looks like it's wet oil that's been splattered on there, whatever. Which I happen to love, those paints. I wish I had the money to buy more of them. I would. I'd buy more canvases and start using those. Maybe later, when I obtain enough money to build up to do that. It'll take some time, but yeah. So yeah, this thing is going on too long. So that's kind of what's going on, I guess. Yeah. After this, I'm gonna take another shower again because I kind of feel icky, and throw on the air conditioner to condition the air to make it not feel so stale. Yeah. And also, I gotta do is start drawing some more. I want to, but I feel like I'm gonna lose everything, how things are, to the point where I don't want to buy more stuff. Like, where am I gonna store it? Not like storing in here, like more of thinking like a storage unit. So I gotta make sure like I'm prepared in case if I lose this place, that I have enough money to go get a storage unit, and I can move my stuff in there. I'm making sure that I have enough money to be able to do that, so I can start moving my shit in there in case of, if I have to, before I get any notices to get out of here or something. I don't know, because everything just seems unsafe at this moment. I might do videos to explain further, but other things is like, I don't want it as like, oh, woe is me, pity me kind of thing, or want people to really know in depth about what's going on, of the good and the bad and the so yeah. And by the way, I got is a bunch of colored pencils that I have never used. I opened it up, took off the plastic and stuff. They're wonderful. 72 of these, and I got it at a really good price. And only only one of them where the tip actually broke. Yeah. Only one of these pencils. Yeah, this one, the tip broke. It came that way. I'm like, oh, but at least it didn't crack or anything. It's in good quality, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Whatever. It's a nice box. I happen to like it. I got it at a good price. I'm happy. Some of my other drawing supplies I have, and they still work pretty well, But yeah. Oh. I just don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.